Ridiculous statements of the narcissist. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I provide you with a wealth of information about narcissism. I am able to explain all of this because I am one myself, a diagnosed narcissistic psychopath that provides you with all of this information because I am creating a legacy and I find the misinformation that is portrayed about my kind irritating. Many people ask me, H, you not concerned that by furnishing this information to people that you will be devoid of victims? Not at all. There are nearly 8 billion people on the planet, and as my reach increases, I still have a very long way to go before running out of victims and everybody becomes a weaponized empath. Even then, even if all of the empaths of the world understood precisely what was going on, that does not mean that they would be able to escape my manipulative clutches because of the presence of emotional thinking. And leaving the empaths aside, of course, I can still manipulate the normals and the other narcissists, because contrary to what people may believe, I have no sense of solidarity to other narcissists. Indeed, the lesser narcissists are just clowns, and the mid-range narcissists are cowardly, snivelling, unaware lightweights that really need their trachea stamping on until they bubble. Accordingly, this is about the creation of my legacy. I know myself inside out and my kind inside out, and also empathic individuals, because empaths are my prey, and therefore it is important to understand what you are hunting and what you are targeting in order to be the most effective at doing so. You do not have to like me, but you ought to listen to me, because my information tells you precisely as it is. There is no sugar-coating. There is no punch-pulling. I am direct and brutal with my honesty about the situation, and I can be honest because you don't know who I am. Indeed, you don't know who I am and don't need to know who I am, other than that the efficacy of my information is proven by the resonance that it has with so many people, the enlightenment that it brings, the freedom that it achieves, the very many testimonials that are both published at my blog, narcsite.com, and of all of the many, many emails and comments that I receive across a variety of platforms demonstrate that people gain enlightenment, understanding and freedom because of what I explain to them. The proof is very much in the pudding. Avail yourself of this information. Utilize it to your advantage. I have created hundreds of videos covering all manner of different aspects of the narcissistic dynamic, telling you more about particular types of narcissist, particular types of victim, particular types of manipulation, different scenarios, famous individuals, although of course there are the Muppets out there who only seem to think that I write about Meghan Markle and nobody else. There are many different famous people that are the subject of my analysis, and there are more to come. If you have a query, please do ask it in the comments. I try to answer as many as I can, but there are limits, of course, upon my time, and content creation must come above answering each and every query that's put my way. If you want a guaranteed answer from me, utilize the consultation options, which are always contained in the video description. Many people have found that personal consultation has saved them a massive amount of expenditure, wasted time, and lost emotion by getting answers direct to their situation. I will provide you with bespoke solutions. There's no risk in doing so. You will only come out with an advantage. So utilize those, and if you want to ascertain if somebody is a narcissist or not, then utilize the narc detector. If you want to know what you are, use the empath detector and the trait detector and the weaponized empath detector. I've created these tools and services to enable you to understand more. Access the Knowledge Vault. There's a further wealth of information in there of paid content, which is not expensive and is worth many more times the amount that I charge for them. If you have a particular subject that you want to learn more about, search amongst my videos. Put the subject and my name next to it, and in all likelihood, you will find the relevant video that you're looking for, or search on my blog similarly. And you can always ask, and if I have time, I will direct you to the relevant place. But many people ask, HG, have you got a video about this? And I have. And a little bit of searching will help you find it. Also, thank you to those individuals that know my work and point other commenters and viewers and readers in the right direction. It's appreciated that you do so. I wanted to explain all of that before moving on to the ridiculous statements by the narcissist, as it's been a little bit of a nagging itch for me as of late, whereby I see people asking, HG, do you have this video? HG, have you got this subject that you've spoken about? And the answer is yes, just have a look and you will find it. And also, again, to identify the range of services and products that are there to assist you. Now, with all of that said, and thank you for listening patiently, let's get down to ridiculous statements by the narcissist. What is the most ridiculous thing that a narcissist has ever said to you? First of all, before you consider that particular matter and provide me with the answer in the comment section, and I look forward to reading them, why do narcissists come out with what seem to be patently ridiculous comments? First of all, if you're dealing with a lesser narcissist, there is a complete lack of awareness. They do not see what they are, and they do not see that what they are saying sounds stupid. They will boast. They will brag. They do not have the awareness because their cognitive function does not assist them in that way. And, in effect, it is as if they have no filter. The mid-ranger will come out with ridiculous comments, and although they invariably have a greater cognitive function, although sometimes upper lessers can be more intelligent than mid-rangers, and because mid-range narcissists have a greater awareness through the facade management of how to fit in, what blinds them is not so much a lack of awareness as to how it sounds, but they are driven by the underlying sense of entitlement to say what they want. And their grandiosity compels, whether it is an aggressive form of grandiosity or a more passive-aggressive form, that they are always right. Such grandiosity is also utilized to the lesser narcissist, but with the mid-range narcissist, this enduring sensation of being entitled to say these things because there is always a reason, always an explanation, always a justification or an excuse. Invariably, that justification or excuse is because of you. It's your fault. And therefore, the extreme, crazy, the ridiculous, the nonsensical, the almost ludicrous comment of the narcissist is, to the narcissist, seen as totally appropriate and proper. A greater narcissist will make outlandish comments. However, those are invariably backed up by the ability and success, for instance, of that relevant narcissist. And therefore, where the greater narcissist may say something outrageous, it's born out of sheer arrogance, the sheer knowledge of being brilliant and superior. And the greater narcissist will similarly recognize that what is said is being outrageous, but he or she is doing it purely to provoke, and because it entertains that narcissist. A greater narcissist is able to make such a comment and to see what the reactions are to it. The greater and the ultra, as usual, are the master puppeteers of the highest order, and delight in purposefully and calculatedly saying such a comment, knowing full well the effect that it will have, and the effect that the narcissist wants. And therefore, the greater and the ultra revels in the response, not least in terms of fuel and the application of control, but simply because it shows that we can. The lesser or mid-range narcissist, of course, do not have that level of calculation. Therefore, their comments are an instinctive response to a situation, either to assert control or to gain fuel from the outset, or as a response to a challenge or wounding. They're wounded and their fury ignites, meaning that the appropriate method of response is determined by their narcissism, and therefore causes them to make some outlandish, crazy, ridiculous statement which provokes the victim into responding and thus signalling control, and providing fuel, which then heals the wound that has been caused. Accordingly, the fury will then eventually abate. Alternatively, it is because challenge fuel has been issued. In those circumstances, the narcissist's manipulative behavior instinctively activates, also driven by fury, and responds by imposing a manipulation through a ridiculous and outlandish statement to assert superiority in the world and the mind of the narcissist in the unconscious, and gain control over that victim, nullifying the threat. Accordingly, the comment is made in all sincerity, and the narcissist, where unaware, sees it as justified and entitled. The mid-range narcissist may recognize that the person sees it as outrageous and ridiculous, but of course he will disagree. He understands why they think that, but any challenge to the statement that has been made will of course be met with complete justification. He is allowed to make such a statement, and it is you that is ridiculous. It is you that is outrageous, and you should accept and listen to what the narcissist has said. The outlandish, ridiculous, and astonishing statements, be they insults, boasts, brags, statements of the patently untrue, are not seen as that by the unaware narcissist. Again, much of this relies upon the narcissist's different perspective of the world to yours. You have a particular perspective which is governed by the way that you have evolved to cope with the world around you. And many other people who are deemed as normal and healthy have evolved in a similar way to you. Therefore, you have a perception of a reality that is the shared majority reality. We, as narcissists, have evolved in a different way for the purpose of our self-defense, our survival, and to thrive. And in so doing, we have generated an alternative way of looking at the world, and therefore have an alternative reality. This is the shared minority reality. This is why so many narcissists operate in a similar way, because they have evolved in a similar way as a coping mechanism which attracts the label of narcissism. If you want to understand more about why narcissists appear to all behave and operate from the same playbook, listen to the video Why Narcissists Operate from the Same Playbook, and that will explain it in a groundbreaking manner in crystal clear detail for you. Just search for it amongst my videos. So what you have is a perceived majority of reality on which a moral framework and a legal framework is then created, which is that which is shared by the victims of our kind. And then there is a differing perception of reality, a minority reality, which we, the narcissists, have. If you have had the misfortune to be surrounded by narcissists, you invariably end up questioning yourself, because when you ask the relevant narcissist about a situation, you will find that all of them respond by condemning your behavior. Because when you put forward your view, you are threatening their sense of control, and therefore they nullify the threat to control based upon their own minority reality. And accordingly, you receive the same response, which makes you think that you're the one that's in the wrong. The fact is that both you and the narcissist are right. We are right with our reality, you are right within yours. Many people who are victims of our kind struggle to get their heads around the fact that there can be different outcomes which are both perceived as right, and this is purely as a consequence of perception. And that is why when a narcissist comes out with something that seems truly ridiculous, it's either not truly ridiculous to the narcissist, or he could recognize why you might think that, but from his perspective it's entirely justified because it's your fault, and he was entitled to say this. That is why narcissists make ridiculous statements to you, why they are outlandish, outrageous, crazy-making, unfounding, seemingly batshit crazy comments. Thus, can you think of some outrageous comments that the narcissist has made to you, be it directed at you with regard to your behavior, or with regard to the abilities of the narcissist or the achievements of him or her? Let me know. Add them in the comment section. I look forward to reading about them so that you can understand more about what the driver was for these preposterous statements. Thank you in advance for your contributions. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.